Yeah, it would be a good idea if I had muted myself. Well, welcome everybody. It is an exciting time, and a lot of things have been happening in the Google Plus world. Uh, and we are very excited to share with you our first broadcast of 2014. Start building your business. Uh, in Start Building Your Business, we're going to share many different aspects of what it is about a business. Everything is going to be basically in three categories. We're going to spend time talking about strategy because you can't start anything unless you have a basic strategy, what it is you want to do, where you want to go. Where is your business today, and where do you want it to be tomorrow? We'll talk about deliverability, and that is perhaps the most exciting thing that is happening in the world of business because it changes every day.
Yep.
Literally changes every day. New technologies are making things happen and change, and it's exciting to first try to understand what those technologies are and what they can do and how they can help enhance your business.
Yeah, I mean
And then
we've got a number of subjects coming up over the next few weeks, haven't we, David? What's the first category? Sorry.
well, first category is strategy. What is it that you want your business to do?
Mm-hmm.
And for those folks who already have a business, the strategy question to ask is, where is your business today, and where do you want to be tomorrow? What
Yeah.
is going to be your strategy to take it from today to tomorrow?
I think a lot of people as well, when they're just starting out, David, they might have a concept, and it's difficult because lots of people can come up with an idea, but it's then finding a way to deliver that idea. You take, for example, your average small business owner, and you mention social media to them. They're going to go vacant on you because they'll be thinking, well, do I use the Book of Faces? Do I use Google? Do I use this? Do I do that? And then we're also, one of the things we discussed, we're not just going to look at what I'd like to refer to as 21st century marketing mediums or messages or platforms. We're going to look at traditional methods as well, because different mediums suit different types of businesses, and it all depends on your business, your geographical spread, how far you want to reach your clients. It may not even be possible to reach clients 1,000, 2,000 miles away. And then other methods as well. We were talking about one particular business owner that you know yourself that still uses postcards, I believe, and still uses mail outs and things like that. And then,
The point with that is, Michael, I've been a small business owner for over 40 years, and obviously the way that uh, basic business principles really haven't changed much in 40 years. Certain basic things have to be done, but what has changed, as I mentioned earlier, it changes every day, is how we communicate. How do we market? What's our marketing communication message?
well, that's interesting considering the title being Massage the Medium. Yeah.
Who was it that massaged the medium? Was that Marshall McLuhan guy? Was he the one that massaged the medium?
Well, actually,
no,
it
no.
was
He said the medium is the message.
He said the medium is the massage, and I did a little turnaround on that, and as we did in the spoiler, we were alluding to it by talking about how, for many years, 20th century, if you like, the mass corporations, the you know, the soft drinks companies of this world. I won't mention any names, but the big brands,
Why not?
they
Google won't let you mention any names. They will. Will they let you mention some names?
no,
YouTube?
yeah, they will. Yeah, I
Okay.
can quite happily pick up a Coca-Cola and drink that.
Only if it's behind you.
Only if it's behind me. Yeah, it can't be on the screen. No, 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 no. That's a no-no. But these companies spend millions of dollars every year trying to work out how to change. Look at Coca-Cola, they rebranded, you know. All these big companies, they rebrand every few years and change their look and their feel so that they can appeal to a wider audience or whatever. And people aren't that dumb, surely, you know. We know it's the same product and we know that it's the same thing that we're going to get at the end of the day for the $1, $5, $1,000 that we're paying. But interestingly, on the same point, David Ameland posted some really good material up on Forbes on the blog there about how big companies find it very difficult to react quickly to changes because you could imagine I might be the social media manager for a company and I see a change, I see an opportunity to reach out to a wider audience or new audience perhaps, and I have to run that up the chain of command, and then it has to come back down the chain of command, and then I get the permission to write my article or to engage this particular audience. But by that time, a day, maybe a week has passed, it's gone, you know?
David has also been making some very interesting comments that the big corporations, they have to change,
Oh yeah,
and if they don't change, they simply are not going to survive. Uh, wow, we read just today. There's an interesting dynamic that happened in big business today, where Fiat of Italy
yeah,
is buying buying the part of Chrysler that they don't already own. So we are seeing the disappearance of Chrysler as a brand.
yeah,
No, I'm not saying disappearance as a brand, but who knows where Fiat is going to make the changes and take the changes, and that's a really significant thing that is being stated. Fiat, an Italian auto manufacturer, several years ago helped to bail Chrysler out of their woes, because what was happening, the big business model wasn't working anymore.
yeah.
It wasn't working like it should, and this smaller manufacturer from Italy is taking over. You know, Dave, Michael, I think we would be remiss if we didn't spend a moment now to talk about how our business relationship has evolved. And the reason that I want to do this is because, well, here I am in Cincinnati, Ohio, where it's snowing and cold, and there you are
We
on
were
that
just
little
talking
phone.
about that, weren't we? It's 20
On
degrees
that,
Celsius here, and what did I say it was in Ohio? In English, in American, is near 60 degrees.
well, that's if you took Tenerife, where you live, in the Canary Islands, and superimpose it on Cincinnati, which I really wish you would do, Michael. It's awfully cold here and snowing here. But anyway, uh, I have been talking about for a long time how important small business collaboration is.
Hmm.
And I think folks, and 2014 is going to be one of the most exciting years of small business. And I called it, yesterday, after we did that fantastic New Year's Day celebration and talking about business that Mia Voss and Christine DeGraff did. Some of my follow-up comments, I said that 2014 is going to be the year of the happening,
Yeah,
because 2013 we were all kind of getting used to this beautiful Google technology that we're using today. Actually, 2013 was the first full year of Hangouts on Air,
oh
and
yeah,
it was the first full year of Hangouts on Air, and so all of us are testing the waters, seeing what's going to happen.
Yep.
Well, you and I originally met on a Hangout. Probably the first time we met was a short, 3 months ago, 3.5 months
If that,
ago.
3 months ago, maybe less, yeah.
And so then in my Dreaming with Entrepreneurs HOA broadcast, you were one of the first 35, 36 entrepreneurs, featured entrepreneurs. And it was after that, as we were talking and sharing ideas with one another, that you and I we were online, but we were out of an HOA. We said, wow, I saw something that I needed for my business in you. You saw something that you needed in your business in me. So number one, we're going to help each other grow our individual businesses.
Yeah. You came out with something very interesting yesterday, actually, David. And
what was it? I came out with something interesting.
Oh, yeah. You have, how many is it? 600 videos on your channel of entrepreneurs that you've interviewed over time.
No. Well, no. I'll correct you. I have over 600 videos on YouTube, and they're all about small business information. Of those 600, I would guess that I spoke with maybe 50 or 60 entrepreneurs, small business owners. But be that as it may, you and I had this dynamic going where I wanted to, some of the things I want to do in my business, you were able to bring to the table. Because we all know that you technology guys run the world. You formulated. Well, no, you made an interesting statement. Let's share something that you made a comment in one of the streams that I recently read, that if someone would ask you to create something, you would be totally out of place. But when somebody like myself says, Michael, I'd like to do this, well, you take that, and from a developer's perspective, you say, wow.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I can do that, but I can do this also.
But look at what we're doing with this system right now. I'm not going to disclose too much, but we are dealing with 2 or 3 people, more actually, at the moment, and they're seeing the potential of Hangouts through what we're doing. And people are starting to take Hangouts seriously. You know, when anybody says to me, "Oh, what are Hangouts? Is it worthwhile using them?" And I said, "Well, I don't know, but you know, this guy called Barack Obama uses them, and a company called Toyota uses them. So, you know, maybe it might be something you want to look at." You know, big companies, big organisations like that do not look at a platform for delivering a message unless they think it's going to help them.
Well, like I said, 2013 was the year that thousands, if not millions, of small business folks said, wow, I can take this technology. It's a great marketing and sales tool.
Yeah.
So we all kind of said, okay, let's see what we can do. How can we use Hangouts on Air to enhance our own businesses? But now you and I decided that we're going to take our shared interests, our common interests, and we're going to create some new. We're going to create, keyword create, creativity. And if I might blow your horn a little bit, Michael, one reason why I enjoy working with you, collaborating with you, is that you have that, what I call a creative technology mind. You know that the technology is out there, but you say, geez, if we can do this, we can do this. Okay, so you and I are bringing to market this a new way, a nice way to create a hangout. Why don't you spend a moment, if you would, to share the different things, the different elements that you have brought into creating this. And don't give any of the secret sauce away, Michael.
I'll just switch screens a moment. Hang on, I'm going up there. Okay. I'll let David take it
Wait,
from
what did
me.
you just? Why'd you put me down below? What's that all about?
You go back if you want.
Oh no! You go up. Okay, there you go.
Now,
There you go.
we've basically got a system here where we could do. I mean, this is just the tip of the iceberg, you know. For example, I'm monitoring the comment tracker through a separate system through the standalone comment tracker, but I can bring that on screen here, and we've got the comments up there, and we can talk about those at some point if we want to. I could do some
Yeah,
interesting.
we got some of our friends on there. Let's see what they.
Yeah, Teddy's loving the scrolling text. I think. Oh, get the right scene. I think he's. I'll get the right scene. It helps. I think he's talking about the scrolling text up there, which we
Oh,
can change. We can change mid-show, which is great.
are you changing that?
Yeah,
Wow.
and
You go. Keep it going, man.
yeah, Vivek. Very good point there. Vivek says that David Ameland also talks about, the disappearance of countries and borders. I saw a graphic on Google today that talked about the length of time it would, no, the distance you could travel in one day across the United States back in the 1800s, the 1830s, 1850s, 1900s, 1935, etc. And now you can travel, across continents in a day, not just one continent. In one day, you can get right the way around the world. I saw another post about the internet becoming. Just switch back here. I saw another post about how the internet was, like the world's nervous system, and for those of us that have been in web design for any length of time, we will know that, well, many people should know that the internet was developed out of ARPANET, which was designed to be a redundant communication system. So if you bomb one part of the world, well, we can still communicate through this part of the world over here, and everything was connected up in such a way that there was redundancy, there was built-in redundancy. You look at what we're doing here, some people may or may not know that we actually have the Hangout on Air running, but we're not broadcasting. And then we're taking all these components, my video, David's video, and we can even combine, if I find the right scene, there, 2 more videos if we want, up at the top. So we could have a 3-way, 4-way call, and we could squash the videos up and make them bigger, small them, and we can even do it in real time. And I'm not going to play with it right now, but there's lots of things, that can be done with this. So I could, for example, introduce a caller and drop them up there, introduce another caller, put them up there, and introduce another caller and put them here, and then make myself disappear, which isn't that hard. Hang on, get the right one. Bye-bye. Oh, I'm gone.
Let me throw it out there, Michael. If there's any folks who are viewing today and they would like to call in next week, let Michael or I know that that's what you would like to do, and we'll get you up. We'll put you up on top up there in the clouds.
No problem.
Wow.
We even have. I better just check the screen. Just one moment, because no, it should just display what I want it to display. We have the ability to bring in a video and display that on its own. But I think the typical layout is like this, and then you can bring somebody into the Hangout above and have a conversation with them, which means I should really be going into the green room and bringing on our mystery guest.
Is that what you're actually going to do right now?
I think I'll do that. Yeah, if I can
You
find
know,
the right window to open.
before you go, why don't you talk a little bit about all the logos that you have going there and what they mean and what's going on with those?
The powered by.
Yeah, that.
Okay. One moment. Okay, powered by Google Plus, because of course we're delivering through Google Plus, YouTube, and dare I say it, Open Broadcaster. Nice and easy tool. Very easy tool to use. But the reason I chose powered by is because they're not sponsoring us. We're not taking money for doing this. But they're the systems
Why
that
aren't we taking money? Isn't all this about monetization, Michael? Why aren't we taking money from
there's
them?
a whole separate conversation about monetization going on, and you're welcome to join in. Just have a look on my stream, and I think you look for the post that starts with product placement. But that's a whole separate thread. We're doing some tests, and hopefully we'll be able to get some conclusive answers, and we may even be able to get somebody on from YouTube to give us some a response. So I'm just going to switch the scenes back. I'm still going to talk to you, but I'm going to get the get our guest in the green room. Okay?
Well, I also wanted you to talk about all the various places where this is actually being broadcast and all of that, what's going on, because
Yeah.
it's very important, because you have created a very integrated, coordinated kind of campaign, and it takes the ability to take the marketing message and be very, very consistent with what you're doing. So why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. Basically, what we're doing is we're taking this stream and we deliver it, of course, to Google Plus through the event page. We deliver it to YouTube through YouTube Live. We also take the stream and we push it over to the Book of Faces. I'm sorry, I can't bring myself to say the name. And we can, in fact, no,
The
we
book
do.
of the Book of Faces.
The Book of Faces, yeah, that's what I've chosen to call it.
The Book
Uh,
of Faces.
and then I take the video stream and automatically it's embedded within the hosted Hangouts website, but that code can actually be pulled out and embedded in 1, 2, 20, 100 websites. It's irrelevant. As anybody who uses Hangouts will know, when you're delivering a Hangout on air, the number of people limited to the Hangout is 10. But with this technology, we can actually bring in people from other sources, so you're not limited to 10 actual participants. And in addition to that, you can broadcast to 100, 1,000, 100,000 people simultaneously. And in addition to that, you can either broadcast publicly, so you just broadcast it to everyone, or you can broadcast it to a specified audience and you send the email requests out, or you can broadcast to a limited audience, in which case, you give them a link.
I wanted to do a quick reference to a statement that Ronnie, our good friend Ronnie Bincer, made yesterday, that he feels the most important thing as far as Hangouts on air that's going to happen in 2014 is the fact that now you can do a private Hangout on air, and he thinks that's absolutely the biggest thing ever. So you can take a select group, you can take your clients, and you can create a private hangout and YouTube it, and oh my goodness, all the things that are going to be done. What's that little tweet bird down there in pound bit one business ideas?
Number one business ideas.
One business ideas. What's that all about?
You can actually use that hashtag anywhere in Google or Twitter or Google Plus, and we will get the comment direct into the comment tracker, and then we can bring that up on screen. We can do that later. We can have a look through some of the comments and questions. I think the guest is out of the green room now because all the sandwiches have been eaten up. I didn't make many this week.
And I actually see a picture of our mystery guest, and he would be one that would take all the sandwiches out of the green room. You want to introduce our guest, because he is a very interesting technology applications person.
Yep.
And so why don't you introduce?
Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
Now we have a lot in common, I think, because Terry Britton and I have been discussing a few things with regards to the technology we're using and other things around that. So I'm going to put myself back down here. I'll pass it over to you. I'll have to mute myself as well because of what we discussed earlier, and I'll get on with a few things in the background.
So you want me to what do you want me to do now, Mike? Is it my turn?
Well, if Teddy speaks, he will
Well,
automatically go on screen.
Aha, one of those things. Hello, everybody.
well, there's Terry. Hello, Terry Lay Britton. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Boy, oh boy, good to be here for this thing.
This is pretty nifty stuff, isn't it?
It sure is. It's amazing. I hope my audio's okay.
Your
It is
audio's
in my
fine.
headset. It is in
Okay.
my headset.
Good, good, because I turned it down a bit substantially because I didn't want to be blasting people.
Well, first, if I might give you a personal plug, Terry was one of my original 36 featured entrepreneurs, and if you go to davidsbarter.com // dreaming hyphen entrepreneurs hyphen directory, you'll see a list of all 36 people, and if you go down the list in alphabetical order, you will see Terry's name down there. And we had a pretty good discussion that day, didn't we, Terry?
Oh man, it was great. It was great. Definitely.
Okay, so if you want to comment a little bit about what you've seen so far, what do you think are the challenges from a technology perspective for small businesses for 2014? What are the things that we really got to learn, understand, and apply?
Well, one of the things that's going to be kind of a challenge for us technologists is to teach people how to get comfortable with even the Hangouts on Air technology, which is beautifully streamlined so that it really is simplified so that just about anybody can get involved with it. But when you want to get to the point where you're bringing it up to the level of a show like we're having here, where it's streaming as a live event using Hangout on Air technology and using this open broadcast software, for instance, or Wirecast or one of the others, well, you're getting into a little more tech there. However, it's not unreachable. Anybody with the ability to learn Microsoft Word basics could certainly learn the basics of how to set up this OBS software, don't you think, Michael? I mean, it's really that simple. And he's muted himself. So.
Push the wrong button, Michael.
Yeah.
It's all about the button. It's all about the buttons you push.
It's all about the button.
Yeah, press the right button, it helps. Yeah, I think I get people saying to me like, my background is IT and networking and things like that, and I often get people saying to me, "Oh, that's really difficult. How do you know how to do that?" And I say to them, "Well, can you wire a plug?" I say, yeah. Well, a plug has 3 cables. A network has 8 cables, but only 4 of them are used. So you only really need to put 4 of them in. And I think, I forget who came out with the phrase, but somebody somewhere said, if you do not understand the thing well enough to be able to explain it simply, or words to that effect, then you don't understand it. If I've got a reasonably good command of IT, of websites, etc., and the technology we're using here to be able to explain it in a form that hopefully anybody can understand.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully.
Well, Michael, we're being a little bit rude, so why don't you bring Terry back on the screen and get my mug out of it? There we go.
Oh, okay. There you go.
There we go.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that the challenge is just like you're saying, just getting that language clear. And I mean, I used to run a computer class. I've given away 135 computers over the last 10 years or so, and a whole bunch of them went to elderly and handicapped, and a lot of them were really old computers. And when I first started out, the first donations I got were 386 computers and 486s, and I had to teach people in their 70s how to do DOS. And if I could teach people in their 70s how to do DOS, well, that means anybody can learn anything. There's no limit.
Is that something that you did in North Carolina?
Yes, I did that in Winston-Salem. And
wow.
Yeah. And I I think that the challenges we're facing with getting people to where they feel comfortable with the software, though, is a matter of, well, in the Hangouts on Air, it's pretty easy if you can get them to get over the camera shyness. Um, it's like Christine DeGraff did a whole video on how she was taking the challenge. She was going to get over her camera shyness. I had to go through the same thing. I've made a lot of videos, but I've always been behind a screen recording, where I wasn't visible at all. And so I think that's one of the challenges. How people fear public speaking. Well, I think the minute their face is visible, it becomes public speaking or something.
Well, I'm a really shy individual too, Terry. Yeah, sure.
I always know
that was a laugh line, Terry.
Yeah, but with the Hangouts on Air, the quality also can be up and down depending on people's upload speed and what else they've got running on their computer and stuff. So it can be a bit of a hand-holding thing to get folks where they're really set up to be able to do it nice. Like I've got a whole copy of Windows that I boot up that's bare bones just to do this, to make sure I don't have a bunch of junk running in the background. And
I was going to say that in a sense, Michael has created somewhat of a monster here, in that, as we watched Ronnie Bintzer's Hangout Mastery Group evolve, in the last 3-4 months. When we first got started, Ronnie was always looking for a wing person or 2 or 3 to watch the comments so that they could bring them up. But meanwhile, while Ronnie was doing 10 or 12, 13 different things just to get the production going and keep it going. We don't recommend, by the way, that you try this at home because you actually need somebody with Terry's skill set, Michael's skill set, who can be in the background doing all these things, because there is absolutely no way that I would ever have any kind of hope of being able to talk, to converse, to have a discussion, and to do the 25 or 30 different things that Michael's probably doing right now. So that's an important thing. But you know what? We wanted to take the Hangout presentation itself to the next level. So that's something that we have to do.
Well, I think this is a great demonstration project of showing what's possible, and it also opens up the field to producers, people that do the button pushing, that do the tech, and sit in the background and get all that stuff done. I think that's an actual entrepreneurial opportunity that's just waiting to be tapped into in a big way.
I'm really glad that you mentioned that, because it really is an important concept, because it's very important. There's not enough new jobs being created in this country right now. But to your point, we've created a job. Someone has to be able to. It takes. Michael and I started setting today's broadcast up. Casually setting up probably 90 minutes before production time. And of course, there's nothing I do. He's doing all the work, but the scenes have to be preset. I mean, I think there's about 6 or 7, 8 scenes that Michael has. Are you around, Michael? Michael?
He's over there.
He's somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, to define what a scene is, that means one of these layouts with.
Hang on, I am here, guys. Sorry, I had the microphone muted. And because of the scenes that I have set up, I couldn't, when you asked me to come on, I couldn't just come on just like that. I had to get a scene ready, cue it, unmute the microphone, and then come in. But there's something I want to inject into the conversation here, and that is something that David and I discussed, and I think we will all be in agreement here. A show has to have 3 people, because you have to have a producer, You know, I'm busy running the comment tracker and the scenes and various other things. Even with a standard Hangout on Air, you need somebody there to manage all these other things, because then you can leave the second person, the host, to focus on being the host and hosting the show. And then the third person, of course, is the guest. So you know, the host and the guest can get on with the show, while the techie. Actually, I'm making a coffee at the moment, and then I'm going to get back to what I'm doing.
Those techs.
I'm fueled on caffeine. If I don't drink a litre of caffeine a day, that's it. I'm wiped out. But I'm going to switch back over to you guys and mute myself and do a couple of other things.
Before you go, what is it that I like to call myself in this whole formula? What am I in this whole formula?
The talent.
The talent. The talent.
I love it.
That's what I am, the talent. Hey, that's what my job description says, Terry. I'm a talent, and I got to keep it flowing. And no, I'll tell you, it's kind of interesting because I think we're taking some lessons from television production, and if my friend Scott Scowcroft is out there, and I know he has a background in public access television, and he and I have had many discussions about the various things that had to get done, and somebody had to do this. Well, it is kind of going back to that, but once again, not as many people need to be involved as it takes to actually produce a television show.
Oh yeah,
and that's the neat thing about Hangout on Air technology.
Yeah, well, you know, the really exciting thing to me is we're talking, like, I was big in video as a tech director and an editor back in the 80s, mid-80s. And whenever we would go to buy new equipment, it would be $10,000 no matter what it was we wanted to buy. I've told this story a million times. It's because it really impressed me that whenever we would go into New York City to the professional equipment store where you bought all the stuff. Oh, you need a new tape deck? Oh, $10,000. Oh, you need a new camera? Oh, that's $10,000. Oh, you need a switcher so you can fade from one scene to another? Oh, that's $10,000. Everything was always $10,000. It was like, wow.
The magic number. Well, that was kind of easy because you was kind of easy because you knew you were going to spend $10,000. So
exactly. We knew
the math easy.
We knew what we had to have to even bother driving down to the city. So,
well, that's a good point. I am using a Logitech, C920, I guess it's called. $99 I paid for it. I don't know what they're selling for today. What kind of camera are you using in your web production?
I got a C920 also, but I also have about 500 watts of light coming on in here, and it really, just having the light improves the quality right there. So,
sure.
And but the great thing is that the lights are all those little curly things now. It's not really 100 watts or 120, it's 16 watts, and no heat at all. So, yeah, I love that part. But the point I was going to make is that back in the day, just 30 years ago, to even think of doing a production like this would have cost so much money just to get set up with technology. Now you get a webcam, which has a mic already in it. And if you want better audio quality, you get a mic, or a headset. And now, bingo, you're broadcast ready. You can get on to Hangouts on Air and make a show with a panel and everything. That's incredible. That used to be, just don't even think about it. And you're broadcasting to the world, the whole world, or just your local community, whoever you want to tell about it. And yet still, this is so much a killer over the cable local, your local cable thing. What do they call those? Community cable station.
Public access.
Public access. I mean, here now I got public access beyond. I mean, people watching in any country in the world can be seeing this thing and enjoying it. And they can be interaction, like what was that thing they had in the 80s or late 70s, Cube or something they called it, which was this
Yeah.
experiment in having interactive
Oh my
TV.
goodness. Oh my goodness. That didn't
Well,
last very long either,
it
did
didn't
it?
last long because you had to have all this equipment and fiber optics and or ISDN brought into your house and all this equipment. They only wired a few people up, and now everybody's got this kind of thing where they can get a rudimentary two-way interactive
Well,
conversation going.
I'm gonna share a personal story, Terry. How I got to where I am today in terms of technology and production. It was about 7 years ago. I started actually producing television shows in a studio under the name Dreaming with Entrepreneurs. And
Mm-hmm.
in that studio, there were 3 cameras on the floor at $10,000 a piece, although a camera was probably more than $10,000.
Probably.
Then there was up in the control room. Ideally, 2 people would be up in the control room, controlling sound and video quality. And then you had, if you had 3 cameras, theoretically you had 3 people running those cameras. Then you had somebody on the floor doing whatever direction needed to be done on the floor. Well, I was on the floor, and I was doing. I was also hosting the shows, and so I did as much as I could. I even had to go in early, Terry, to get things wired, get the show prepared to actually be able to produce. Well, I did 65 shows, and it got increasingly more difficult because I was Well, you brought up public access television. It was in a nonprofit environment, and so the folks were volunteers, and I couldn't even bring in my own production crew to do the shows.
Mm.
So it got to be a hassle. And after the 65th show, I said to my friend Kevin, he was upstairs doing everything upstairs, controlling the cameras. We didn't even have camera people. We preset the cameras, and he was just controlling which camera was going to be used from the control room. I was downstairs. I said, this is nuts. So went on to streaming video. Found a website that streamed video, and so I was able to totally do the show myself, from my computer, and then push a few buttons and things were going, and it was pretty interesting, pretty simple to do. Quality was pretty good, but we had a lot of audience, and that's really how we're going to deliver the message. It's what audiences there are going to be to deliver the message, where they're going to be, how you're going to reach them, and that website shut down one day, just no warning. The website just shut down. So that's when I started doing YouTubes, and that's when I started producing all the YouTube's small business information, build an audience. Very simple to do a YouTube, as you well know. So when Hangouts on Air came down, it was a natural thing for me to do. I didn't have to wonder about it, because here now I was able to broadcast pretty much the same fashion as you do a YouTube. I got the SEO value from Google from having that streamed live in my Google stream, and then when I was done, it automatically became a YouTube. So we did the coding of the YouTube, and I've added one step to it. I downloaded to a landing page in my web community, so we've got an additional value. The point I'm trying to make is, things change, technology changes. It is going to take a full 2 people to actually do this show, and if we have a guest like we have tonight with you, a 3rd person. But we wanted to take things to the next level, so that's what we're doing. So what can you? How important is that for folks in their video production? We talk about how important content is the most important thing. How you present it is a whole different story. So how do you advise people? What do you tell people?
Well, I definitely to plan out a show so that you sort of know what's going on in the show. I mean, yeah, the off the cuff type show like we're doing right now is great, but it's good to do kind of a planned out show also, and kind of have them in between. I usually tell people get some kind of a script or an outline ready for the show, if they're trying to do a show type show.
I'm showing you tonight's script and outline.
Yeah, yeah.
And we haven't kept to it too well.
Well, if you
that's
have
another
it, at
story.
least you get to it. And and practice with yourself if you're learning the technology. It's like Ronnie's always telling us, just practice. Get on and be just yourself, or find someone else to do it with, and practice using the buttons and pushing everything. But make sure, find out what the best settings are for your computer as far as what should be running in the background, what technology there is. And, it's good to be hooked up with a bunch of miracle workers like we've got in the Hangout Mastery group. And
Sure.
that's been worth every penny of joining that and being a member. And I will be for quite a while, I think. And but it's like the message you had of massaging the medium, I mean, the name of this thing. The thing is that this stuff is worth taking the time to get used to. In the past, the medium massaged us, and that's actually what Marshall McLuhan was writing about. He was originally kind of writing about the danger he saw as inherent in a passive medium like television, dumbing down the civilization, and literally making us go backwards as a civilization. And that was what he was really worried about. And even though they came out with the medium as the massage, which, by the way, was a typo from the publisher, the printer I just saw this in Wikipedia yesterday. They sent a comp of the book, the test print, right? And they had misprinted the message as the massage, and it was a misprint. But McLuhan loved it and said, "Oh, this is perfect. Stay with it." That's how it became the medium as a massage.
I don't think I totally knew that story.
Yeah, it's right there in Wikipedia. And but it was supposed to be the medium is the message. But they tried to make this popularized version of his rather stuffy academic treatises about stuff, and they made it into this thing that wound up being a pop culture thing of its own. Everybody picked up. But people didn't really pick up on the message that McLuhan was giving a warning. They all thought he was celebrating television taking over. Well, he wasn't actually. But now things are turning around the other way. We're in control of our own media. We're massaging the media. We're creating and have interaction with the two-way interaction, that's never happened before, and not to this point. And the fact that anybody can make a show now, it lets people start using their imagination. What would they make a show about? What would they want to talk about? And be a host of a show, the host with the most. I thought that was your title, by the way, was the host with the most, not the title.
Oh, I want to be that. When I grow up, I want to be the host with the most, Terry. I don't know. I'm just going to have to study styles, and I think another a prediction that I made yesterday during the big HOA extravaganza was that I think we're going to see this year where a lot of people there's going to be a lot of co-hosting done, where we share our expertise. Folks might have their own HOA, but somebody else might have another perspective, and so why not work together and co-host the whole concept. By the way, excuse me for asking this question, and I don't want to put you on the spot, but I have never actually seen you produce an HOA. Are you going to be producing one in 2014?
I sure am, starting very, very soon. I was working with Debbie Horvitz.
Oh, is this a plug for the new Terry Leigh Breeden?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, I got a couple of things going on. Debbie Horvitz, I took a class with her, and she got me thinking large. And so I'm going to be doing a whole series of things like you did with the entrepreneurs thing, dreaming with entrepreneurs. I'm going to do something similar with educators that are looking to use technology and techniques in brand new ways. And so I started a new Google Plus channel and or page in a YouTube channel called I Wonder Education. Small I with the name Wonder, right? I Wonder Education. And I'm going to do a whole series on the new movement in education with, inspirations like what Sir Ken Robinson talks about, for instance. You can see his videos on TED, and other educators that are talking about how the whole education system is going to shift in, forget the next 100 years, but like even the next 10 years, how it's going to have to shift. So that's a huge interest of mine, and it always has been ever since I was a college professor myself and really got into learning styles and things. And the other thing I'm really interested in doing is more local in my own locality. I live in an area that's got a lot of challenges to it economically. It's a rural area. A lot of farming here, and a lot of potential, like to go with organic farming, for instance. This is North Carolina, and they've had to move out of the tobacco growing thing and find other crops to do, and still very much about farming. But here's an area that's 4-hour drive from Washington, D.C., and an hour from Norfolk, and it's got 8 major municipalities, north and south, that it could be shipping organic brands to and all that kind of stuff. It's an entrepreneurial hotbed that just hasn't really been triggered yet. So I'm going to start doing a thing where I interview entrepreneurs in the area that are doing cool stuff and celebrate what they're doing. And my whole thing is sort of like, to be the guy that's giving other people a platform to talk. And
when's your first broadcast going to be?
I'm going to be doing them on Mondays and Tuesdays, starting probably the second week, like next week of January. So
great. Well,
yeah.
Good luck. Good luck in that endeavor.
Yeah.
Okay, Michael, is it about time to do our summary statements?
We have a few questions as well. I'd like to bring those up if I can. Yeah.
Please do.
We've got one here from Laura Williams. Do you think some businesses would be more comfortable creating their hangouts in a studio environment with a producer on hand? And it's like I was saying earlier. Personally, this is only my own personal opinion, but I think having a producer, albeit here in the little iPhone, beavering away, greasing the wheels, it's essential. You tell me. I mean, what do you think, Terry?
Oh yeah, it takes all that pressure off of you to be pushing the buttons yourself.
Oh yeah, I mean for sure. You've got somebody there running the show in the background and doing all the things in the background that need to be done, and you can focus on the presentation, on the delivery. David and I are talking with one client at the moment who I'm making a very conservative estimate here, and I think that they're going to have between 300 and 500 people connecting simultaneously through various channels, be that YouTube, Google, Facebook, wherever. Imagine taking 300 people's comments. It's hard work,
You need 2 people.
Definitely.
Oh my goodness!
Definitely.
Adding more cost to the whole concept there.
Vivek came up with the correct statement there. It was Albert Einstein. He said, "If you can't explain something simply, you don't understand it well enough." And I think that's.
Oh, that was Einstein. Okay.
Yeah. And here's the thing: if you don't have the time to learn the technology, excuse me, then just find somebody who already knows it. And this kind of alludes to what I was saying yesterday in the HOA-a-thon that David and I were part of, and others. That I personally don't think that I'm the best presenter, even though I'm on screen at the moment. I'm probably not the best person to market a brand or to push a brand, but when it comes to the technology and bringing it all together, I know what I'm doing, and if I don't know what I'm doing, I can either find out how to do it or learn from somewhere and bring the two or three things together. Teddy will know that there's actually quite a few things going on here in order to deliver this broadcast. And I think Laura's got a very valid point there. If you can't do it, you can learn to do it, or you can pay somebody to do it for you, and it's entirely up to you which route you want to go down.
Well, I'm sure you heard me say earlier. There's no way, and I used to, I did my own HOAs. There's no way that I could personally do, what's happening tonight by myself. Just could not be done. And you, Michael, might be doing the work of, well, for certainly one person and maybe two people in what it is that you're doing. But back to Laura's question, is it essential that you do that? It's all part of the brand that you're trying to build. It's all part of the marketing that you're trying to do. And quite honestly, you and I want to take our talents and sell them to other people, which we are actively doing right now. So that's all part of it also.
Yeah.
But it goes back to the idea. You have to do what you do best, and if you really want to create the best picture, paint the best picture, you need the right people to get in there and help you do it.
Yeah.
So it's a great question, Laura. So, okay, go on to the next question.
Yep. Vivek, he likes the idea of overlaying the comments like this, I like it. Shall I tell you where I got the idea from?
Yeah, why don't you tell us?
Dan McDermott.
He does that.
He runs two shows.
There's a tutorial.
Yep.
There's a tutorial by the guy that wrote the OBS software. He shows that too. How to do
okay.
it.
He does this on the Google Plus Week, which runs every Friday at, off the top of my head, I think it's in the afternoon, 5:30, something like that. And there's a few panelists on there, and they talk about Google products and Google services, etc., and other things, technology news. And he brings the comments in this way, and I really liked it. And I sent him a message, and he was kind enough to show me how he did it, which was really nice. And
he's also got a really good show Wednesdays on cell phones, mobile technology.
I know he had. Let me think. He has Android Week, is it on a Monday?
That's what it is.
Yeah,
it's
and
great.
I like
show.
that. I've just got into that this last week or so, and I like it. I haven't got the money to go around buying all the products that they play with and the review, but it's great to have a panel of people there that will take the products and play with them and then come back to you with an honest opinion on what they think of them and the app of the week and things like that. I like that. I've got one cool. Here. Oh, hang on, it's Teddy's. I was really, really pleased to see this come up on the event page. And do you know when you mentioned that the title came from a typo? It kind of springs a memory. I seem to remember hearing that somewhere, but it's 20 years since I studied that, so it's way back in the past now.
I think we have other questions, Michael.
Let me just check. I can come back to the comment tracker later, but that's it for now as far as I can see. Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to share. Okay, Terry, you have a statement you'd like to make?
Well, about what Laura was saying about needing a studio and stuff. I think that's part of where a producer can come in really handy in helping to kind of be a counselor even, to show how the technology can be used and lead the person into being comfortable with it, no matter where they're setting it up from. I don't think a studio is necessary. In fact, it may even in this day and age be counterproductive because people want to see this more personalized approach nowadays. They're They're not, according to polls, they're not as trusting of things that look too slick, and they like this more relaxed kind of an environment.
Well, and that's the beauty of what's happening in the world today. Michael is in his living room in Tenerife. I'm in my living area in Cincinnati, Ohio, and we're producing an HOA.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, well, I don't think Michael, neither one of us would ever think that we have to go into a studio to make all this happen. And I don't know if that was really Laura's question. Do you need a studio environment or just create the studio in your own home? Well, you said it, Terry. You don't need all the lighting that you need when you go into a studio. So that's one of the considerations that an individual needs to make.
Yeah, but you do need a
Well,
producer who can integrate it all and
yes.
get everybody
Yeah,
coordinated.
absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely. And thank goodness for Michael, who is doing all these things for me, because no way I could make that happen. So thank you, Michael. Before we leave, I wanted to share that starting next Thursday, we're going to really start to dig down into three basic areas that are very important for start building your business. Now, start building your business was a title that Michael and I brainstormed over for a while. It is either start building your business, start a new business and start building that business, or take your existing business and continue the building process and take it to the next level. And that's going to be ever so important in 2014. And we're going to see some really neat things happening in the HOA environment in 2014. So we want to talk about strategy. You have to have a starting point, and your starting point is your strategy, whatever that might be. We're going to spend time on talking about deliverability, and that was kind of what we were talking about tonight. How are the various ways that you might deliver whatever it is that your content is, your marketing message. How do you deliver it? You have to understand technology. You have to understand how to use it, and you have to understand what's important for you and your business. There isn't a general rule of thumb. You have to work with those things that are important for you and can help you achieve what it is. And then the final area of discussion, a lot of people call it ROI, return on investment.
Yeah.
I've liked to throw in return on resource investment, because that resource might be time, that resource might be money, whatever it might be. So how do you get a return on your time? How do you get a return on your investment, your out-of-pocket expenses that you might have in producing, in running your business or producing an HOA, whatever.
Yeah.
It just so happens producing HOAs is what Michael and I are doing. So
Yeah.
that's how we measure things. So the point I would like to make is we've got about I don't know what, Michael, 6 or 8 folks lined up.
I think we have 6 guests confirmed, lined up. We have a range of topics covering everything. I don't think David or I just want to focus on Hangouts, social media, websites, or one particular thing. We want to look at it. I mean, this is why we came up with the title Massage the Medium. Let's think of different ways of doing things. I love what Terry's doing with Open Broadcaster, for example. Pushing the envelope just that little bit. Let's see what else we can do. There's somebody else out there, Richard Pritchard, who's done some good tutorials and just showing what's possible. Granted, it isn't something that one person can do on their own. You do need help, you do need support, and this is where the theme of collaboration comes in. And it's very interestingly, a comment has just come up on the comment tracker from Laura that I'd like to bring on screen if I can. because it
Go
kind
ahead.
of.
You're the producer. Go ahead. I'm
There we
just
go.
a talent, Michael.
Laura Williams says, I am surprised that I have not noticed many HOAs by realtors. What a great exposure tool for your area, answering questions, and you can bring in a myriad of guest financial people, inspectors, contractors, and more. Well,
And
Can I comment?
house
Can I
videos.
comment on that one?
you're more than welcome. I
Yeah,
think
Uh,
Teddy has
house
something he'd like to
videos.
add though. Sorry, go on, Teddy.
And house videos, house tours,
Oh, now
videos of house tours. I mean, it's
why
your
didn't
own
we think of
content.
that?
Yeah, that's your own content, so that's going to be allowed by YouTube.
well, maybe by next week's production time, Michael and I will have a realtor who we will actually be producing an HOA for, or
Mhm.
actually more than one HOA. But we are in discussions with a realtor right now, so we hope
I
to have
find
that.
it, and I think Teddy would probably agree here. I find it, and I know we're running over time, but I'm enjoying the show, and I find it really interesting how people like us, the entrepreneurs of the world, the thinkers of the world, the ones that want to push things forward, come out with ideas, and then we have to wait for the technology. 12 years ago, I had a concept and I delivered it. No, 10, maybe 9 years ago. And I developed this website and I published it and I got realtors and estate agents, as they're called in England, to use this site. I came over to Tenerife, I sold the domain, the guys never used it, and then I bought the domain back, registered the domain again, and I developed yet another system. And I was desperately waiting for the technology to become available to do what I want. And David and I just this week started talking to somebody who wants to do it. And I'm not going to reveal the details, but what Laura has said there is actually very close to the mark, isn't it?
You're very close to the mark. She must have been looking at our notes or something. So I would like to say, number one, if there's anybody viewing, watching either live tonight or we'll see a recorded version, and you have an idea that you would like to share with us, and maybe you're going to present that idea as a guest, please contact either Michael or myself. I guess startbuildingyourbusiness.com is the best place for them to contact us, Michael.
Yep.
Start building your business. You see it on the side of your screen there. Startbuildingyourbusiness.com. So Terry, thank you very much for taking time out of your schedule to share some thoughts with us, and really best of luck in your HOA that's going to be produced. And if there's anything that Michael and I can do to help you make that happen, please let us know.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm going to be talking with Michael a lot. We got some. We both want to play with this OBS
Oh
software and
yeah.
make it happen.
Definitely, yeah. And it's nice to have somebody of a similar mindset that likes to open things up and have a look inside, and. And then my
Yeah.
partner wonders why my daughter's always taking things apart. I don't know where she gets that from. It's been great, guys. I've really enjoyed it. I think we'll wrap up now. I'll drop the title segment in afterwards. And if anyone wants to know, the details of how this is done, you're more than welcome. We'll help you out. Because for me, it's about taking Hangouts to another level and opening it up to a whole new medium. Vivek mentioned a question which I didn't answer, but I will now. It's just come to mind. Can you actually bring more than 10 people in? And the answer is yes. Very simply. It's technically it's quite difficult, and you would need, I think Teddy would agree with me if I said you need a lot of bandwidth to do it. But technically it's possible, yeah,